my friend had cancer and passed away, who I met in the storytelling realm. And she just had a love of storytelling. So in her will, she asked that I tell a story at her funeral. And her kids read the will and they were looking at me like, you're gonna do it, right? And I agreed, I codependently agreed, what could I say? But I was thinking, I don't really have a story to tell because I didn't know her for that long. And I didn't want to tell just any old story at a funeral. And so I was, up all night about it. And then I thought of a time where she had told a story about trying to get Christmas presents for her kids. And I said, okay, I'm going to tell that story. And I'm sitting there and it was a packed house. It was full of AA people, just a ton of people. And I'm sitting in the back and I'm waiting my turn. And there was another woman speaking and she got up and told the exact story that I was going to tell. And it was almost my turn. And I was also crying because my friend died. And I was trying to pull it together so that I would be able to get up and speak at all. And all I remember was the woman sitting down and saying, now our next speaker is Gina Gold. And I still did not have a story. And and I was sobbing profusely at this point. And during the course of the week after she died, I was so upset that a friend of mine who was trying to show me how much she cared, how bad she felt that my friend died, gave me this gift. And she said, I bought you a $1,000 psychic reading. And I think she bought it for me so maybe I could contact my dead friend. But when I looked this person up on the internet, I thought to myself, I don't think this is a good idea. But she insisted. So I got on the phone with this $1,000 person who turned out to be a total nut that for an hour talked about clearing out dragons that were in my path, and that I needed to clear out the dragons. He needed to clear out the dragons in my life. So he basically spent an hour clearing these dragons out when I wanted to know, is there some message I could bring at the funeral to these kids, her 4 kids that she left behind? Maybe if he tells me something from the spiritual realm, and then I can go in and I'm going to impress the entire funeral plus her kids with this secret message that nobody else knows but me, because it's a secret, because I got it from the spiritual realm for $1,000. And all I got were dragons being cleared from my roof. So I had no secret. So now I've got no story and no secret. So I got up there and it was dead quiet and I started sobbing and I couldn't catch my breath. And I kept saying, hold on, because part of me is thinking. And then I just went, screw it. I don't have a story. I was asked to tell you a story and I don't have one. All I can tell you is that I am devastated that my friend died, and I did everything so that I could come here to give a secret message to her kids. And I told them all about the psychic and the dragons and how I ate a plate of cookies at the wake because I couldn't sit with my feelings. And I ended by saying, what I realized from that $1,000 waste of time was that I don't need anybody to tell me a spiritual message. There's no spiritual message that I need. I know that my friend loved her kids. And I know that she would have done anything for her kids. They don't need a secret message from me or anybody else. And then I said, so thank you. And then
wow,
I said,
it's so beautiful that you just it didn't require anything except you're just voicing your own love.
Yes. And I looked at them and I said, you don't, and I you know, tears were coming. I said, you don't need some ridiculous secret message like I'm going to come in and tell you something that you don't already know so that you guys would like me and think I'm great. That's what I want you guys to think I'm great. But I have nothing to say because your mother loved you and you know that. Yeah. And then I sat down and the crowd went absolutely wild.
So
yeah.
how did like, given in that situation, when you're looking at it now, how did your voice make a difference to you?
My voice made a difference to me for several reasons. One,
in a constructive way.
Yeah, in a constructive way. It was all constructive. All of that was constructive because one, my grief was so strong that by the time I got up there, I cared about what her kids thought, but I didn't care what anybody thought. And because I was like, because being present, right? And also it felt good to be present in my feelings. Like I was like, because all my other performances, I have always checked out, left the building, rose up to the ceiling. I'm half here, I'm half there. The grief grounded me and I was there. It is the only time ever in my entire life where I was on the stage, body, mind, and spirit. Ever. I couldn't leave if I tried because my grief for my friend had me anchored to the floor. And that was in it, even though it was horrible to feel that grief, but it was awesome to be in my body, even just for 5 minutes. It was just like a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I thought, as painful as it was, I thought, I want more of this.
That is so funny that you say that, because I've been experiencing a lot of grief over the past few days, and it's funny. It's part of an opening. I think what's motivating me in this and allowing me to show up. And as I'm listening to you speaking, I'm thinking, well, yeah, we're all kind of in there's a collective grief, but we haven't been inculcated. There's not really an outlet for that, or you hide it, or you pretend it's not there, and it is, and it's just, in ancient civilizations, certainly, God bless, we have in ancient Hebrew tradition, they're still intact, this, a formal grieving process, because of the acknowledgement of how important that is, of a letting go and a loss.
Yes.
And I hadn't connected that before. I mean, we had music in ancient times, and we've kind of lost that. And so it's so powerful what you share, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. And it was an honor to be in front of all of the people that were there in AA, because I felt like they appreciated what I was saying. I told them, I said, I tried to run from my feelings so that I wouldn't have to grieve. And I also thought that maybe the psychic could say something that also could make my pain a little bit less. Or if I eat this plate of cookies, it will make that pain a little bit less. And none of that worked.
No, but that's so cool, because and isn't that's such a great demonstration too of how we're always looking outside of ourselves for the answers and to soothe the pain, and the pain's inside, and we soothe it when we show up in it, snot nose and all.
Yes.
And how people go, so appreciative, wild, because how little time, or how rare it is for us to allow that to be seen. So if anyone watches this and you're motivated by this, would you please, why don't you make a little video, or I'll meet with you. this is very organic and holistic, you know, or share this and share the link, because we're gathering stories, just real stories,
Yeah.
authentic voice at a time, so that we can all have an outlet and feel safe for being who we are, and that there is hope, and that there's not, it's not even hope, that there is so much good, and there's nothing new under the sun except showing up in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all a choice. So please do something kind for yourself today, because you really, really deserve it. And thank you so much, Gina, for your beautiful story.
Oh, thank you.